The Shadow in the Mirror. Part 1. The mirror had been in the family for generations. Its ornate gold frame was etched with swirling designs, and its surface gleamed with an unsettling clarity, as though it could see more than just reflections. It hung in the upstairs hallway of the old family home, a house that groaned and creaked as though it had secrets of its own. When Eleanor inherited the house after her grandmother's passing, she barely gave the mirror a second thought. She was too busy cleaning the layers of dust and cobwebs that had overtaken the sprawling manor. But late one night, while passing the mirror on her way to bed, she froze. There was something wrong with her reflection. At first glance, everything seemed normal. Her tired face, her mussed hair, the hallway behind her. But then she noticed it. Her reflection was smiling. Eleanor wasn't. Her breath hitched, and she spun around, expecting to see someone standing behind her. There was no one. When she turned back to the mirror, her reflection wore the same startled expression she did. She laughed nervously, shaking her head. "Just tired," she muttered, hurrying to her bedroom. But the mirror began to haunt her. Every time she passed it, she saw something out of place, a shadow moving in the background when no one else was home, her reflection lingering a moment too long when she stepped out of view. Once, she swore she saw the reflection of a door behind her, an old, heavy door with iron hinges, but there was no such door in the house. Eleanor's dreams grew restless. She dreamt of dark hallways and whispered voices, of being pulled toward the mirror by unseen hands. She started avoiding it, taking the long way around the house to avoid the upstairs hallway. But even then, she felt its presence, as though it was waiting for her. One stormy night, the power went out, plunging the house into darkness. Eleanor lit a candle and made her way upstairs, her pulse quickening as the flickering light cast eerie shadows on the walls. She had almost reached her bedroom when she heard it, a soft, raspy whisper. "Eleanor." Her heart thundered as she turned toward the mirror. The candlelight illuminated the surface, but what stared back wasn't her reflection. It was a shadowy figure, featureless except for two gleaming eyes. "Let me out," it hissed. Eleanor stumbled back, the candle slipping from her grasp and extinguishing as it hit the floor. Darkness consumed the hallway, but the eyes in the mirror glowed brighter, piercing through the black. She tried to run, but her feet wouldn't move. The air around her grew heavy, pressing down on her chest. The figure in the mirror reached out, its hand pressing against the glass. Cracks spiderwebbed across the surface as though the mirror itself was straining to contain it. "Help me," it whispered again, but the voice was different now, familiar. It sounded like her grandmother. Tears streamed down Eleanor's face as she reached out, her hand trembling. The moment her fingertips brushed the cold glass, a sharp pain shot through her arm. The mirror shattered, and with it came a deafening scream that seemed to echo from the depths of the house itself. When Eleanor woke, she was lying on the floor in front of the mirror, shards of glass scattered around her. But the ornate frame was empty. The reflective surface was gone, replaced by an inky black void. And from that void, something was watching. Eleanor left the house the next morning, never to return. But sometimes, when she passed a reflective surface, a window, a shop mirror, even a puddle, she thought she saw those glowing eyes staring back at her. And she knew, deep down, that the shadow in the mirror wasn't finished with her.